UT's got a level 3 bioweapons lab. They've got a nuclear reactor. Every time I mention that, people laugh. Yes, there's 2 nuke reactors in Austin, and down in Galveston, there's a level 3 bioweapons lab that's messing with level 4 bioweapons. And it isn't just him. It's Prince Charles, Prince Philip, Jacques Cousteau, Ted Turner, Peter Singer, all these top people. That's all they talk about. Just like in the movie 13 Monkeys with Bruce Willis, where the crazy laboratory assistant of the scientist releases the airborne superflu and it kills 99% of the population. That's who's in these laboratories. Remember, it just came out on Monday, what we already told you. Samples in anthrax cases don't match. Strands from mailbox in Princeton are not from Ivins, investigators say, and they grabbed him, put him in government custody, killed him, and you had to go to the local news to find that out, to try to blame it on Bruce Ivins for the anthrax when it was a U.S. government weaponized version, and that later came out and has been confirmed. Remember the foot and mouth release in 2000 in England? Weaponized. It shows up from Scotland to Cornwall, from the south to the north, on the island. It shows up in a 2-day period all over the country at scores of locations. It's the most weaponized version ever seen. It kills all the cows and sheep that come in contact with it. We go on air and say that is weaponized clearly because we know farming and studied it and had scientists on about regular foot and mouth. Some call it hoof and mouth. And then it came out in the BBC, the level 4 bioweapons lab at Porton Down. Dr. David Kelly spoke out, and of course they killed him. Witnesses saw 5 men in black uniforms run away from his dead body in the woods. His wrists were slit with no blood there. There were pills inside of him that hadn't dissolved. Didn't matter. I mean, you can have the killers on top of the body that run away, and they say it's a suicide. And it turned out that they admitted, somebody snuck it out of the level 4 bioweapons lab that had minefields around it, underground facilities, pressure-sealed rooms, people with robotic arms messing with it. Somebody snuck it out, and then somebody spread it nationwide in a 2-day period. Yeah, right. Somebody was able to go out and do that. I mean, I'm just giving you more and more of the dots, see, because I have this knowledge from studying it just like many of you do. And, over the years, that's why when we see this, we understand what it is. But on the face of it, they ship weapons-grade bird flu that kills 60% of humans that get it conservatively. They ship it to labs all over Europe and to the subsidiary in Austria. And then what do they tell their subsidiary labs to do? What's the recipe? What's the ingredients list? What is the ingredients list? They tell them, this is a 1 in a million accident. Well, another 1 in a million accident. They tell them the exact recipe with the exact. This has been fingered by scientists as what it will probably mutate with, the exact strain of flu that's the most airborne, the most vicious, and that has the best chance, it is most closely related to be able to combine DNA. And they mix it up, and then it gets worse. So it's 1,000,000 to 1, conservatively, that they would ship it to all these facilities. Now that happened. It's 1,000,000 and 1 that would be the exact right way to mutate it. And then it's 1,000,000 and 1. Get ready for this. That they wouldn't radiate it when this vaccine called to be radiated. They kill it. They breed up the flu virus. Then they radiate it. They ship it out. They didn't radiate it. It was live because it had to continue its mutation. And they say that it could even mutate inside the human body, and that if they gave it to thousands of people, that's guaranteed. Now, let's say it's not 1,000,000 to 1. Let's say it's 1,000 to 1 that they ship it out to all these facilities and tell them to mix it at the exact, same combination that it takes this. And then they don't radiate it. But by the grace of God, or probably some good guys in an intelligence agency, this stuff doesn't happen by accident. There's good guys in government everywhere. They do test it on ferrets at a subcontractor. And then for weeks, they've been trying to get the story out and warning people, and it finally broke. We're going to be all over this story, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand what I just covered? According to a compiled translation from Czech newspaper stories, the media over there is asking tough questions about whether the contamination was part of a deliberate attempt to start a pandemic. Mainstream news is saying this. But not our media. It's too controlled. Was this just a criminal negligence, or was it an attempt to provoke pandemics using vaccination against flu to spread the disease, as happened with the anti-B hepatitis vaccination with vaccines containing HIV virus in the U.S.? Remember when that happened? Oh, that was an accident too, though, with the gay men in New York. Just so happened that HIV was contaminated in the hepatitis B shot, and they used gay men because they're vectors having hundreds of sexual partners. It was just an accident. The perfect vector was injected. And then, this is from the major Czechoslovakian paper, and then cash for vaccines against H5N1, which Baxter develops. How could on earth a virus as H5N1 come to the ordinary flu vaccines? Don't they follow even basic precautions in the American pharma companies? The fact that Baxter mixed the deadly H5N1 virus with a mix of H3N2 seasonal flu viruses, it was a whole cocktail to see what it would mutate with, is the smoking gun. The H5N1 virus on its own has killed hundreds of people, but is less airborne and more restricted in cases with which it is spread. However, when combined with seasonal flu viruses, which, as anyone knows, are super airborne and easily spread, the effect is a potent, super airborne, super deadly bioweapon. Let me say that again. The effect is a potent, super airborne, super deadly biological weapon. Your family gets this, at least, if there's 6 of you, 4 of you are dead. You're dead. That you go in the ground. You understand? In the ground. You understand that? You understand that, police that want to laugh about this show? Or military people or government people. There's no more time to laugh. You understand? If you don't want the globalists to kill you and kill me and kill all of us deader than a hammer, you better start waking up to who's running things, Jack. As the Canadian Press article explains, while H5N1 doesn't easily infect people, H3N2 viruses do. If someone exposed to a mixture of the two had been simultaneously infected with both strains, he or she may have served as an incubator for a hybrid virus able to transmit easily to and among people. There can be little doubt, therefore, that this was a deliberate attempt to weaponize H5N1 viruses to its most potent, extreme, and distribute it via conventional flu vaccines to the population, who would then infect others to a devastating degree as the disease went airborne. And that's how the globalists love it. They love compartmentalized operations where they use regular distribution systems like the water or the air to hit you and hit you hard. Now, I got Dr. Paul Craig Roberts on the collapsing economy. And, he said that he was going to vote for Obama because Obama had to be repudiated, because Bush had to be repudiated. But now he's written articles saying it looks like Obama is going to be worse than Bush. Former head of Policy Department of the Treasury. He is coming up at the 8 after next hour. But then I am going to, in the hour after that with a guest and into the 4th hour, take your calls on this weaponized bird flu being mixed with vaccines to be shipped out across the world. And reading, literally, I probably read, scanned through 20, 30 articles, all mainstream news last night. And they're saying, with scientists and others saying, this is impossible, this is incredible. I mean, they ship it out when it's not involved with a human flu vaccine to these places to be mixed with a whole different variety of human flus. It's mixed it's a specific way design it so that it will mix with those, and then they kept it live and didn't radiate it after that. I mean, come on. That's like hitting a bullet with a bullet, and then hitting a bullet with another bullet, then hitting another bullet with another bullet. All with the same bullet. It is absolute fraud.